What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
A touch of not suitable for work humor, man.
Not suitable for work humor.
Yeah.
Why, man? Why not suitable, man?
Because
Isn't all humor suitable for anything?
It is. Just not suitable for work. Yeah. Maybe
Or
not the
work,
workplace. Especially the topics we're talking about today. Very
Actually, yeah,
risky.
both topics,
Yeah, both of
both
them.
topics quite risky.
Yeah.
Perfect for an end of week podcast, lah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe if you're, I mean, even if you're listening to at work, I don't think you'll blare this out on the speakers, right? Because
I don't know, man. Maybe just be careful if you do, in case you got young kids around. Because young kids they can get you in trouble, as we'll find out later. Yeah,
that's true. I did meet someone recently who said that they listen, but they've kind of gotten used to the swear words in front of their kids, lah. To those people, I salute you, because I'm not going to stop, and I don't think Terrence will as well.
Yeah. Never stopping.
Never stop swearing. Never stop stopping. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but I think before we jump into all the topics, because we're really skirting around all of them, I think I just want to give a big shout out to our Reddit community, lah. I think that's we've been spending a lot of time. I spend a lot of time on Reddit now, lah. Like not just on our page, but not
In
just
general.
on subreddit, but just in general. And yeah, the awesome thing is that we are closing in the Yalabat community on Reddit is closing in on 2,000 people, man, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. And I just the concept of 2,000 people, I just don't even really know what that looks like. Does it fill up a indoor stadium or something?
Indoor stadium is like 20,000, bro.
Oh shit! Okay,
2,000 is maybe. I mean, you imagine the biggest Chinese wedding you've been to, like 100 tables, so twice the size of that, lah.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's hard to imagine. I don't think I've been to one with 100 tables.
I think I've been to one with 90 tables.
90. Okay.
You sure? Our common friend, the 90 table one, the one where every speech started with "Dear ex-president Nathan."
Oh, I don't think I went to that one. I went to the friends and
you went to
family
the
one,
fun one,
which was like
I went to the
destination wedding. Yeah, you went to the Singapore one.
Fuck. I just went to the formal one, which was boring as shit.
Yeah,
but that had 900 people. 900 people.
Okay. So that's what 2,000 people feels like. But yeah, anyway. So do check out the Yalabat subreddit. I think it's an awesome place with a lot of interesting comments and discussions.
Yeah, man. The link is in the show notes as always. Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
So ready to jump right into these risky topics today.
Yeah, just so incidentally, both kind of risky. But the first topic is the news that MCI, the Ministry of Communications and Information in Singapore, has shortened the permit for Vogue Singapore, which is the Singapore version of the fashion magazine, the international fashion magazine Vogue.
Yeah.
So, before I go into the details, when you saw the headlines, right, what came to mind?
I did not know that Vogue Singapore even exists, to be honest. I was like, okay, Vogue magazine, but apparently Vogue Singapore is not too. It hasn't been around that long, It started sometime, I think in 2020 or 1-2 years back.
Is it?
Yeah, it's only been around for that long, and they're really in trouble already. The last time they got in trouble when I did a bit of research, the last time they got in trouble was during the height of the pandemic paranoia, when I think the staff at work gathered for a photo, and that photo went public, and then they had to apologize for the lapse in judgment in letting people gather in such a big group.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So
that's what
Vogue Singapore is
known for.
So Vogue Singapore is new. That means previously when we get the Vogue magazines in Singapore, that was Vogue.
Probably imported, yeah.
Imported.
Yeah. So I guess what they mean by Vogue Singapore, it means that there's a editorial team in Singapore, and they create the design of they create the magazine themselves, That means maybe they take articles from the main Vogue and some contributions from local photographers and content creators and all. But yeah, it's published under Vogue Singapore.
Oh, Vogue
So that's
Singapore.
what that's why I think they need the permit to exist in Singapore lah.
I think I got mixed up with Esquire. Because I remember when you said Vogue Singapore only existed 2020, I was thinking, no, but I've seen some of the people in media and all appear on some funky fashion magazine, but that's Esquire. So I just mixed it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
Vogue
very
Singapore is
different.
2020.
Yeah, that's right.
I see.
And yeah, I think Vogue is more fashion focused, if I'm not wrong, than
fashion
something like
focused.
Esquire. Yeah.
So what essentially happened was that Vogue Singapore, they have a current 1 year permit, but it was revoked as of yesterday, 12th October. No, 13th October. But then the magazine reapplied and MCI gave them a shorter 6-month permit.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know that magazine permits are 1 year at a time. Because I assumed that I mean, if you're a magazine in Singapore, you're employing a bunch of people, the last thing you want is your permit to be revoked. So 6 months, I don't know, but all they said is that it had breached the content guidelines for local lifestyle magazines on 4 occasions within the past 2 years for nudity and content that promoted non-traditional families.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So hearing that statement, right, what does it make you feel, Terence?
I mean, this is all part of the. Remember when 377A was and it was announced that it would be repealed. I think there was there was also an announcement on the site by MCI that it would not affect the content guidelines. That means content guidelines would be status quo. They would stay the same. So
Correct.
you are seeing, I guess what you're seeing here is an enforcement of that. That, maybe there was some in their words, I would say some alternative lifestyle content and all being depicted in the magazine, whether through images or text. And that breached MCI's guidelines.
Yeah, but I always find it so weird because so I mean this was also from cases from 2 years ago, right? That means it was even before the 377A was repealed. But it just feels like I don't know. It's tough to understand the context of Singapore. We want to be forward, progressive, liberal. Not say we want to be liberal, but it feels like we live in a climate where everything's trending towards that in developed countries. Even though Singapore might take a fucking long time. But when I see this, I'm like, what? Vogue, they breached content guidelines for four times over 2 years. How chala could it have been?
Yeah. And the thing is, how many people actually read magazines these days? Unfortunately, we don't have a very strong magazine culture anymore in Singapore, right? No one's really reading magazines. I mean, I was just at the petrol kiosk today, and I remember years ago I used to spend, every time you're waiting for your car to top out the fuel, I would spend quite a bit of time just thumbing through or looking at what magazines were available, and over the years, that magazine shelf, that section of the petrol kiosk, has gotten smaller and smaller, and now in some places it doesn't even exist anymore. So it's like I mean, it is a bit of the Barbra Streisand effect, where I didn't even know about Vogue Singapore's existence before today, and the MCI has brought it to our attention, and it makes me curious. Oh, what exactly do they publish that made them,
so
breach the
risky.
guidelines? Now I'm like, can I CSI it somewhere and find out what exactly they did?
Yeah, because likewise, I mean, I think in some way the question you asked about who still reads magazines kind of hints at the people who maybe would have complained about this, because it would have had to arise from a complaint. It would have had to arise from someone looking at a magazine and saying, "Oh my God, this is horrible. It's going to cripple the family values of Singapore that has been ingrained in us since the founding of our country, which is fucking ridiculous, lah." So I think I guess for Vogue Singapore, I mean, in some way, it's marketing for them, right?
Yeah.
Because like what you said, right? I also didn't know they had a separate Vogue Singapore. And if they're publishing risque content in Singapore, why not, man?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think we're not alone in wondering what exactly they did, because I think even I'm just looking at the website for Today Online. even them, they are asking MCI for specific details of Vogue Singapore's offending photos and articles. So everyone's trying to find out now. Everyone's like, okay, show me the photo. Show me the photo. But one interesting thing that in the same article that they pointed out was that the IMDA's website guidelines state that even semi-nude models, semi-nude, with breasts or genitals covered by hands, materials, or objects cannot be featured. So
hands, materials, or objects?
Yeah. So I'm just thinking like hands covering boobs and all that. That's like, I mean, that's kind of common really, right? You'd see that all over Instagram, if anything, right?
Yeah.
So it just feels like, wow, this feels like something from the 90s or something, these guidelines.
No, but then even then, like, it literally says objects, is it?
I mean, they quoted here, hands, materials, or objects. Yeah, that's right.
But objects that are not underwear,
I suppose so, yeah. As in, you can't be obviously nude and then have something just lightly covering it, I suppose.
The fuck? So it can't be in print magazines, is it?
Yeah. These are the guidelines for under the Newspaper and Printing Presses Act. Yeah.
Oh.
That's right.
So, okay. So maybe that might be the difference. Because, you know, like what you said, you go to a petrol kiosk and you can thumb through the magazines and all, right?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking at first, hey, Instagram, what's the difference? You know, Instagram is a fucking thirst trap. And TikTok, you watch one video of someone who's being thirsty, your whole feed becomes thirsty shit, right?
No, I mean, what do you mean being thirsty? You mean, I thought the thirstiness comes from the person looking at the video or clips.
But I thought it's the term thirsty is applied to like content, like, oh, that's a thirsty picture. If I look at a picture, I'm not thirsty. Wait, am I?
Is it? I thought that's why it's called a thirst trap, right? Like it makes you, it's supposed to make you thirst. Okay. That's my understanding of it. Maybe that's so like two boomers trying to understand the millennial lingo. Not even Gen Y, millennial lingo.
So it's not a thirsty picture. Is it a thirsty picture? Is it a thirsty picture? So okay, a thirst trap that I've heard. I've heard about it. So yeah, I guess those kind of photos that make you thirsty, right? What the fuck was I saying?
Yeah, thirsty photos. You see, maybe photos of someone wanting to drink water. That's your thirsty photo right there.
That's my TikTok. It's like Pocari Sweat, 100+, all the thirsty photos.
Yeah, so Ryong posted a lot of thirsty photos this week.
A lot of thirsty photos, yeah, correct. Nathan Hartono also last time thirsty photos with Milo. But yeah, so I guess the difference is that for Instagram and TikTok, where, I mean, as weak as it might be, there's still an age barrier. But for print stuff, right? If you have a kid, your toddler is at the petrol kiosk, petrol station, technically they could get their hands on magazines like this.
Yeah.
And technically they could see someone cup their genitals with their hands.
Correct, yeah. And that would be very offensive to them, I suppose. But I mean, it's still, of course, the technicalities of it, you can pass through them all day, right? But I mean, kids with Instagram, isn't that like all the kids with TikTok? It's like almost every kid has TikTok, right?
Yeah,
it's a crazy thing.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's such a weird thing to see. Like you open up TikTok, open up Instagram. There's so many thirst traps, right? But then you see this kind of article, it just makes me feel like, what the fuck is going on? It's like we're getting even more polarized than ever before, and yeah, like I mean, it's funny that there were two earlier cases, or the last time a permit was shortened was when it was taken against a local arts magazine called Art Republic in 2014 for two severe breaches of content guidelines for religiously insensitive and denigrative content. So that one, I guess we do have a protection against harmful something act, the POHA.
Maintenance of religious harmony and all that, right?
Yeah, so that one, there's laws against sedition and all. But when it comes to like risque content, the last two times were in 2008 for Clio and 1998 for FHM.
Yeah.
I guess that was peak FHM when I was Sec 2. So that was peak FHM.
Yeah, peak FHM. That was when FHM was like the magazine in boys' schools.
The magazine.
Yeah.
The magazine. If you had an FHM magazine. Yeah.
Do you think that the civil servants or the ones running the show at IMD and all that, do you think that they don't use Instagram? Is there a possibility that they don't know what is going on Instagram? That they might turn a blind eye to whatever, like what you say, the thirst traps on Instagram. Maybe they don't have internet at work, right? So they can't
Yeah, correct.
they can't use their
work
phones
phone.
to access Instagram. But I'm just
Correct.
like, it's almost like, is it possible that these people don't realize that Instagram already, like, everything that is banned under their Newspaper and Printing Press Act is already on Instagram, right?
Yeah. I mean,
they must know, right? They must know.
They must know. It almost feels like it's a process that is outdated in the sense that if someone reports a risque piece of content, probably the authorities, they have to investigate it. And because they haven't updated their parameters and thresholds, it falls within that. So I can imagine that even the people within the civil service working on this, there has to be at least a handful thinking, this is fucking ridiculous. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But because the process, because the years of legacy is there, these kind of things happen.
Yeah. And I'm guessing there must have been a complaint from somebody somewhere, right? If there wasn't a complaint, then why would they go and dig up these things, right? When there's a lot more. I mean, you can go after Meta and Instagram if you want, but you know how that's gonna end. It's not gonna end in your favor, and you just look stupid, . But I guess under this, for magazines, because like you said, it's a legacy thing. There's more room for them to maneuver and make it look like they're taking action, right?
Then for digital magazines, because now every print magazine tends to have a digital presence as well, right? So maybe it's almost like MediaCorp. MediaCorp, you cannot show like risque stuff, but MeWatch you can.
Yes, yeah. Maybe there is that distinction. So maybe Vogue Singapore, you go to the Instagram, then you can actually see what all the photos, offending pictures are.
I mean, honestly, if you are a new magazine starting in Singapore, this is brilliant marketing, man. Like you get your permit, okay, maybe it might make the next application for the permit harder. But I'm just curious what the people working within these magazines, Vogue Singapore, other magazines, feel about this. Like, is it just like, oh yeah, this is nothing new. We are working within the sandbox each and every day. Or whether they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I think, we just need to see the pictures.
Yeah. But I mean, no denying it brings them into relevance for even a day or something, right?
Yeah, correct.
When you see headlines of yourselves on the news, when actually no one has probably read magazines for them donkey years already. And
you might be offending a bunch of magazine readers.
No. I mean, I'm also big on. I still like to read magazines, but more independent magazines than all these Condé Nast kind of magazines, .
So like 8 Days.
8 Days doesn't exist anymore, man.
It doesn't
I'm talking
exist?
about like print and I'm talking about hardcore like print
what
magazines.
What the fuck?
8 Days
doesn't exist anymore. Oh shit!
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore, man. Wow. Welcome, like 2007. Once you back, yeah. But it's kind of I mean this magazine thing is just something I've also been just recently. I just happened to be reading about how in some places, not in some places, actually only really in Japan, magazine culture is still a very, very big thing. The proliferation of independent magazines and different magazines or different interests, different niches is still very big in Japan. They have a very big magazine culture, but I don't think we can say that in Singapore, right? Singapore, we definitely don't have that.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, to see this as like, oh, MCI is clamping down on this and all that. I'm like, it's kind of that it just reminds me of the Streisand effect, when you mention something that you don't want people to see, but ends up people are even more interested to see it already, .
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just brilliant marketing. Brilliant fucking marketing.
Yeah, but do you think this will move the needle on people buying the magazine or checking it out?
I mean, I honestly feel a bit more compelled to definitely check them out and maybe even buy the magazine, man.
But to support,
Yeah, it's almost like it's so ridiculous, but But I honestly think, like, I mean, I hope it works out better for them, and I hope they. I mean, okay, I haven't seen their content. I hope it's good.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah,
But yeah, man.
I do really want to see what the content is, lah. Like, was it at least tastefully done or something? You know, if it's tastefully done, then you know, like, then it goes in the realm of like, yeah, lah. Why are people clamping down on more artistic kind of photos and all that, right?
Yeah,
So
I
that's what
think
I'm
it's
interested to
the.
find out. Yeah,
I think it's more the non-traditional families than nudity, lah.
you think so?
Right, I think so. I think the moment got non-traditional families in Singapore, right, immediately there'll be one section of the population that'll be like, this cannot fly. My 10-year-old child can access this when he goes through the petrol station with me.
Yeah,
Cannot have this. Cannot have this.
yeah. That's the world that we live in, lah. You know. I mean, we're going to see these culture wars come up again and again. You know, like how they did in Buzz Lightyear and even all these Disney shows that used to be. You would think that they're all kid friendly and all that, right? But in Singapore and places like Singapore, Malaysia, yeah, they're not deemed as kid friendly as you would imagine, right? By
Yeah.
people who watch them and see, oh, non-traditional families. Okay, something wrong, you know?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing is
yeah.
kid friendly.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the world we live in, and it's a great time to also speak about non-kid friendly content. Very, very almost on the nose about it, like non-kid friendly content. And what is this topic we're talking about?
The topic is the latest news concerning a certain individual who I've seen pop up so much in the news recently, right?
Yeah.
That I think in terms of content creators, he's probably like the most talked about in recent times. And that is the news that one of Singapore's top OnlyFans creators, Titus Low, has been sentenced to 3 weeks in jail for breaching a police order and for transmitting obscene material.
And he's also been fined, right? Like, is it $3,000?
Yeah, fine 3,000. Yeah. So I mean, like, for context, right? Like, I mean, if you don't know what OnlyFans is, then maybe I think that's worse than not reading magazines, lah. OnlyFans is a platform where people can pay or subscribe to certain content creators for not safe for work content, lah, right? So
correct.
Titus Low, I think last year he started gaining prominence, and he started like earning a shit ton of money, and he was quite open about posting about his lavish lifestyle, his condo, and recently he was in the news for proposing to this girl he met after 1 month, and now as a kid, and he opened up his own ice cream cafe. But I think as recent as earlier this year or last year, the authorities were already clamping down on him, for distributing obscene content.
Yeah.
And then now the sentence was passed.
Yeah.
So it's 3 weeks in jail.
Yeah. But I think, and in case you're just thinking that, oh my God, another Singapore influencer doing something stupid, going up against the government and getting in trouble and just trying to create, just being dramatic and creating news on themselves, right? This piece of news already is international. I know, like, for example, BBC, the headline is Singapore jails OnlyFans creator in first such conviction. I think I think it's international because not only in Singapore, right? I think everywhere around the world, people are grappling with the popularity of the OnlyFans platform, right? And everyone's very shocked about how easy it's made it for people to choose to build a career on OnlyFans, right? By like you said, submitting and uploading not suitable for work content, and a lot of people are grappling with, like, they're very puzzled by how popular the platform is, and I guess in Singapore the question is coming up against what is a more socially conservative state, right? Like, how does something like OnlyFans survive, because if I remember correctly, even websites. I mean, obviously we had very early on in internet, Singapore had a very I would say almost a very ceremonial kind of ban on raunchy websites like Playboy.com, for example, right? That everyone, after a while, you knew that, I mean, there's a lot more places where you can get porn that are not restricted by the IMDA or MDA at that point in time, And then in more recent years also, Singapore has also taken a step to ban morally repugnant websites like what was it? Ashley Madison, right? Ashley Madison, which was I mean, people called it the cheating app, lah, right? Where it encouraged people to have extramarital or cheating kind of relationships on their platform, lah.
Yeah.
So that was also banned in Singapore. So in a place like Singapore where we have taken action against international sites like these, right? I think a lot of people are watching to see how Singapore authorities would react to OnlyFans, right? But actually, just for those people who might not have a handle of it, what law or what would you be breaking by having an OnlyFans account in Singapore?
So that's where it gets a little fuzzy, lah, because in Singapore it is against the law to transmit obscene material or even create obscene material. But by the way, I read it's not illegal to watch porn. Or maybe it's a bit grey, but if you share the porn, if you download the porn, or if you create porn, then you're in trouble. If you make porn,
even
right?
between consenting adults, the act of just making the porn, that's supposedly illegal, right?
So that means also like sending nudes between consensual partners is illegal, right?
It is supposed to be. Even taking the photo is supposed to be illegal, right?
Yeah.
But that's why it's a bit like the 377A thing, right? Where they say they're not going to enforce it and all that, And I mean, you can't possibly enforce it between couples, right?
I guess that's why this whole case is a bit fuzzy, and there's a lot of chatter around it, which we will go into. But just to give the a bit more context about the whole story. So Titus he only joined it in April 2021.
Yeah,
2021. Yeah, and apparently for 6 months he earned after tax deductions about US 240,000.
Yeah,
from his OnlyFans account. Yeah, because now he has about 2,000 active subscribers, and he charges a monthly fee of $20 lah. And subscribers can tip him on OnlyFans. That's the benefit of the platform lah. According to the Today article, I mean, he has photos and videos of himself in various states of undress, as well as engaging in obscene acts such as masturbating. So he does post content that is very risky, because you get OnlyFans creators who just post like teasing photos,
Yeah.
Because there's no mandate about what you got to post on OnlyFans. I mean, Terrence and I could start an OnlyFans account, sharing pictures of us at our podcast setup lah.
Yeah. So you're saying that he has posted explicit content, right?
Yes.
Because risque could still be, no nipple, no genitals, So, but he's gone all the way and shown his balls and everything, right?
Yeah, correct. And I mean, even jerking off, in the act of doing it.
Have you I mean, in the interest of research, have you watched it before? Have you seen his stuff before?
No.
Yeah, neither have I, actually. Neither have I. All this is stuff I'm reading online. So I'm not...
Today, your trusted source of explicit content,
On Today, on forums and things like that. But I've never actually gone to check out the content myself, which maybe we should as part of our research.
Yeah. But I mean, how much more detail you need? The video of him masturbating. What more detail you need?
Again, similar to what we were discussing earlier, I want to find out how artistic it is, like how's the lighting?
Oh, I see.
Is that 3-point lighting, and then got the hair light and everything when he's
got foreground, background,
and then the soft poker in the background and all. I want to find out if he does it like that, or is it really just like those kind of homemade, webcam kind of videos, lah. Yeah. Anyone who knows, please sound out in our Reddit and just let us know. I mean, don't send us the link. Just tell us about it.
The production quality, the production value.
Describe it to us, just so we have a better understanding of it than just, he masturbated. That's kind of boring. Yeah.
Yeah. La. So you're saying Today also should give more details, is it?
Yeah, but then they cannot then cannot let young kids read it also.
Then they will get their permit pulled by MCI.
Yeah.
Then yeah. So that was the context of his membership. What kicked off this whole investigation was apparently on September 4th last year, so 2021, a woman made a police report saying that she had found a video clip of Titus in her 12-year-old niece's mobile phone. And Low was performing a sexual act in the footage. Then there was a police case. He had to give a statement in October. And that's where, I mean, I guess he did things that didn't help him also lah. He was told that he couldn't access the OnlyFans account. He gave them their primary email, but he still had his secondary email access. And then he reached out to OnlyFans saying my account got hacked. He changed the password, and then he uploaded even more videos and photos.
Yeah.
So he also got a sentence for that, lah, breaching the police order. But then, even reading this, right, like, there's no fucking article that, I guess they wouldn't, but explains why the hell is the video, how did the video clip get to the niece's mobile phone? Like, was it shared? Does she have an OnlyFans account? Is it a phone that was borrowed from an uncle or something?
Yeah. But I mean, like what we were saying just now, kids with mobile phones, they can easily get around a lot of these age restrictions that are placed on them and all that, right? Or even just like somebody shares with them a video that they got from someone else and all that. That's the age of the internet we live in today. So, I guess the big question to me was, if you happen, let's say you have a niece or nephew, and you happen to find that they have porn on their phone and all that, right? And regardless of where they got it or how they got it or how they came across it, would your first reaction be to report it to the police? That's my question. Because you're like,
traumatize your niece.
Won't you be traumatizing the kid? Right? Like, oh, you got porn on your phone. Now let's go to the police station.
Because
kind of scary for a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you're definitely going to tell the kid something because the police will have to confiscate the phone.
Yeah,
right?
And then look through your phone, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like the 12-year-old kid, like the fact that there's a 12-year-old kid at the center of this, it just feels like, wait, that feels like an issue as well. Like, like but everything's being kind of consumed by this one OnlyFans creator who is being charged. But another issue is that there are female OnlyFans creators in Singapore.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure to what level of not safe for work content they post. I think one famous person, Tammy Tay, she is also on OnlyFans. She has been quite open about saying that she will never post like explicit content.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm assuming that's the really lewd, the really like sexual acts kind of thing. But then there's a lot of chatter saying, okay, is this a case of double standards, or is it just a case that he's quite out there in the media? He doesn't shy away from going on the down low, and it's almost like, is this something you want to encourage? Yo, for all those 22-year-olds out there, you're good looking. Here's something you can do. Right.
So you're saying that is the reason he's being punished like this is because we don't want to encourage, authorities don't want to encourage young people to try OnlyFans?
I'm not saying that it is, but it raises questions like that, lah. Because it feels weird. Like there are other OnlyFans creators.
Correct.
Is it because he's the most public and it's one of those like, okay, you just as long as you don't get caught, you do your shit, lah.
I mean, similar to the MCI thing, I guess once a police report is made, lah, right? I'm guessing they have to look into it, lah. And then whether they take further action is quite like what we say about the laws, lah, right? About transmitting explicit photos of yourself and all that. That's I think it's not easy to enforce, lah. But if there's one thing about Titus Low that really stands out is, and I think you'll see a lot of online chatter about it as well, is that he also shot himself in the foot, lah, by so explicitly, I mean, pardon the pun, so explicitly defying the police order for him not to access his OnlyFans account, lah, right? And literally going back more than once to OnlyFans to claim that he got hacked, and then uploading more pictures when he was told not to, like in the midst of the investigation. So it's that kind of situation, you bring yourself back a couple of years to when the influencer Pretty Please, also, when she was being investigated for her seditious music video and all that, right? And subsequently, she issued an apology, so-called apology to she issued an apology to who did they issue the apology to? Pretty Please and the brother. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
but yeah, basically they issued an apology letter that was very you could tell that it wasn't exactly contrite or anything. Like they were not exactly contrite about what they had done. They're not exactly sorry about what they had done, right? And the tone of it was very almost like I think what they were apologizing to was the was it the ad agency that was behind the campaign or what lah, right?
They
it ended up,
replicated,
they replicated the tone of the agency's apology and all that. So it just didn't feel like a very sincere kind of like, oh, okay, you know, we fucked up and this is our apology. And I'm not saying that they fucked up. I'm not saying that objectively that what they did is terrible, is morally wrong. I'm just saying that when they got caught by the authorities, it seemed that they adopted a tone of very like they still very combative, still wanted to defy the orders and all that, thinking that, you know, people would support them and respect them for doing so. And I find that this is exactly what Titus Low has been doing lah in the past couple of months. Like I think, like you said, he opened his ice cream shop. He announced that he was going to be a dad and all that, you know, on social media. He wasn't keeping a low profile lah. So when you are I'm just speculating that if you are the police or the authorities and you are, you know, having such a public investigation on what this guy is doing, and he's still doing all these things, defying your orders and all, it's almost like raising a third finger at authority, and that makes them doubly want to ensure that you get punished for something lah.
But then the thing is, right, like, I think why it's so tricky for the authorities, okay, because it's one of those rules that, okay, if you make porn in Singapore, it's against the law. If you distribute it, it's against the law. And as much as you can disagree with the law, if the law is there, it can be enforced, right? But I think the most difficult thing for the authorities is the nature of content or the type of content creator that Titus Low is. Because, you know, like being a content creator where chances are you have to work with brands at some point. You know, it's a livelihood. You can be as controversial as you think you are. Even Pretty Please did a lot of brand work lah. And because she had that controversy, I mean, I can imagine it impacting her. I don't know, but I can imagine. But for Titus Low, right, who has built his brand on a platform that is self-sustainable with people paying him, right? If he, and I think he's doing this, he's spinning it to his benefit. Like after he got sentenced, he went on TikTok, he said a video of how he feels. He's not doing okay, but he's going to share a YouTube video of the whole thing after he comes out from jail. Then he has his ice cream cafe. Then I just found out on Instagram that he has his own sex toy brand called Mara Toys.
I see, everything, And don't forget the fact that he's on BBC now. How many people around the world are going to log on to OnlyFans to see who this Titus Low guy is, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So this guy, I mean, like, I don't know whether it's all like conscious or he's just very good at reacting, but almost like if the government wants to clamp down on what he's doing, it's going to be fucking hard because he thrives, he can thrive on that sort of notoriety lah.
Yeah. And I like think he hasn't, he's not someone who shies away from it lah. Like even recently, I think he was in the news because he did a collaboration with the Malaysian penthouse model influencer
Miss Pui, right?
And apparently there was some drama where she came to Singapore, shot some risque video with him. His wife apparently commented on that risque video saying that she wasn't very happy about, or insinuating she wasn't very happy about it, and showed a video of herself crying. And then after that, they took down the videos, and then they had to post. And I go through nowadays. There's a slightly boomer-ish millennial going through all this. I'm already like almost numb to influencer drama. As in, I always ask myself, is there do they have interest in just generating more buzz, even if it's like lame ass buzz, like this kind of like risque video, blah blah blah. Oh, my wife not happy. That kind of thing. Is that all just manufactured just to get young people talking about them, just to get on the news? And if I can't get on the news with that kind of information, if I can only get mothership, then maybe what needs to happen is I need to go to jail and then get on BBC, and that will triple my income the next time I'm out of jail lah. So it's like triple. Don't even say triple. I mean 10 times the income lah. So the whole thing just feels like like what you said lah. It's a very big game that these influencers are playing these days. That they literally use the the fact that Singapore is a very socially conservative place to their advantage, and to generate buzz and news from kind of like very there's things that probably wouldn't even attract that much attention if they were influencers in the US, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, even on his Instagram, his latest Insta stories is him at Cartier's event yesterday with a caption "Enjoying my time while I'm out" or something. It's almost like
a mockery.
Wow, like yeah, it's a mockery. And like what you said about getting, young people to talk about it, I mean, it's getting us to talk about Titus Low also.
Correct,
and
correct,
I mean,
yeah.
like I have a daily Google trend set up to see what are the news that come in through Singapore. And over the past few weeks, I've been seeing Titus Low come up over and over and over again.
I thought you said you have a Google Trends of Titus Low.
Oh, no. No.
Tag your account, then you're like, oh, Titus Low, anything. You're going to check. Then I'm like, oh, okay.
No,
okay.
I have a Google
I didn't know that
alert
about
for
you, Haresh. Yeah, interesting.
I have a Google alert for our names, for Ministry of Funny, for Yalabat, for Folklore and all. Yeah, but Titus Low.
OnlyFans also.
OnlyFans. Because I mean, like, OnlyFans also, I guess, because they are a subscription-only platform, you can't even fault them for saying, oh, it's a porn website that distributes freely. Right?
Yeah.
You have to sign up, there's an age gate, people pay. So then there's all these questions like, if you're a Singaporean creator overseas that distributes porn, that makes and distributes porn to Singapore, will you be liable? I think you are.
Or vice versa. Like if you are an OnlyFans creator from overseas and you are stopping over in Singapore to, I don't know, stay for a holiday or whatever, and then you're just in your hotel in MBS and you take some photos and all. Have you committed a crime that will cause you to go to jail like Titus Low, right?
It's like drugs. Maybe the next time on the plane also you'll hear that drug warning. And then the second warning, if you take a video of you jerking off in Singapore, you are liable to our jurisdiction.
Yeah. Please declare if you are an OnlyFans.
Yeah, please declare.
On our customs form, we'll add one more box for OnlyFans creators.
OnlyFans account.
Your OnlyFans account. Please provide us the address. Yeah, we promise we'll take a close look at it. But actually, I mean, if you weren't in the internet space, if you didn't work in digital media and all these things, right? You'd listen to you see these headlines and all, and you would think like OnlyFans is this devilish creation, like a Ashley Madison kind of thing, encouraging people to cheat on each other and all that, right? Sounds very negative, but actually, on the contrary, right? Like, OnlyFans has actually in some cases, like for example, I follow like mixed martial arts as a sport quite closely, right? And there's always been a big hoo-ha about fighters' pay and how they're very unfairly treated as independent contractors. It's almost like the whole Grab Uber issue, where the drivers are not treated as employees, they're treated as independent contractors, so they don't have protections and get paid as well. So they have that actually going on in the mixed martial arts world under the UFC, which is the biggest organization, where a lot of people are complaining, hey, the fighters are not being fairly compensated for being the stars of the organization, and they are under contract, but they can't work for other organizations, blah blah blah. So in recent years, one of the big things that has actually become an alternative revenue stream for some of these fighters, especially the female fighters, is OnlyFans. It has provided them a very steady, livable income, and it builds on their popularity as athletes and fighters. You see them getting their ass kicked in the cage one day, then the next day you can go on OnlyFans and literally see the asses, So it's kind of I won't say it's been a positive thing, but it has helped some of these quite groups of people actually find a way to build a career, monetize their popularity in a way that they couldn't if they were or just go and start campaigning for better working conditions and things like that, right? So in some sense, OnlyFans even has that kind of it's the answer, when people are getting screwed over. It's a solution to people getting screwed over by big corporations and all that.
Yeah, I think even when we were thinking what to do with our series that we still can't show because the company is being liquidated. Part of it was also, should we start an OnlyFans account?
Yeah.
I think once I told Faz also for his comedy special, I said, dude, put it behind OnlyFans. You'll get the buzz. You'll get the PR . But then, even more on the nose, for sex workers as well, for porn stars, and
yeah.
whether you agree, whether you think the porn industry should be abolished or whether it's a fair thing, it does exist, right? And it also has given a lot of income to these porn stars who sometimes get exploited by the industry, lah.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
then they are in more control of their own compensation, lah, and some of them make a shit ton of money, lah. So it's just like weird to see how this unfolds, because now when he comes out, he makes a YouTube video. I'm gonna fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Right? Like so many people are gonna watch it, and he's just gonna be top of mind, and he'll just help his brand, lah. So I don't know, man. The authorities, you got a tough little pickle here, man.
Yeah. And you don't want to in the public image around the world, right? You don't want to be seen as the prudish little country that you know that even clamps down on like a small OnlyFans creator and things like that, right?
Yeah, like what you say, he's on BBC. And once you're on BBC, chances are you're going to be on other websites and other publications, lah.
Oh yeah. I think a lot, lah. But yeah, so it's quite interesting in a way that Singapore again is the first to. I think there have been convictions of OnlyFans creators. I think on the BBC they said it has happened, but in places that are like Myanmar, lah, where definitely it's a bit more politically motivated, lah, these kind of convictions. Whereas in Singapore, it's really about the content. It's about the explicit content. That's what is being clamped down on. So again, Singapore, another first. We're making news around the world
Singapore.
for the right reasons. Yeah, about OnlyFans is I know cryptocurrency, OnlyFans, things like that, lah. That's what we're making news for.
If Yalabat ever truly declines, we know, lah, we can start an OnlyFans account or create a magazine and show just a little bit explicit photos, and we'll get free marketing.
Yeah,
the Barbra Streisand effect, the Streisand effect.
Just hands cover boobs.
Yeah, hands cover boobs.
That's the
hands
solution.
cover boobs. That can be our 2022 calendar issue, lah.
Yeah, but I mean, interesting, lah. I think Titus Low is at the very least you got to say he's a interesting character, right? Would I think we'd love to be able to talk to him and sort of pick his brain a little bit about all this, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were gonna be in touch with him, but I think that was already when he had been served his court order, so he couldn't talk, because he has appeared on other podcasts before, I think.
Yeah. Then it gets tricky.
So,
but I mean, what's interesting is, I think like I do want to just ask him about what his philosophy is behind a lot of these things that he does, right? Is it really just I don't care about what people think? Because that's kind of passé. That's kind of like, I've heard that everyone from every generation. There's always people from every generation that says that. But like, what we're seeing is that he's walking the talk, right? He's really like,
he knows what people think. He knows what people think,
and he's almost like reveling in this attention now, right?
Yeah, man.
So it's let's see what if there are further developments from this story.
Yeah, man. Further developments. There will be, lah. Yeah, there will be.
Sure
Cool. Yeah.
So, given Titus has 2,000 OnlyFans subscribers, and we have 2,000 people on our subreddit as well. Is there?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Terrence?
Yeah, I think I am, me too. Is there one Shiok comment that you'd like to highlight from these 2,000 people?
My one Shiok comment is on the Reddit thread for the last episode, where a user who goes by the name of Homegirl Flyer actually shared her experience about being an SIA stewardess.
Yeah.
And she talked about, certain things are like even how they need to stay within certain BMIs, how they actually wear girdles to help with like heavy lifting, and how being slim is useful when you're having to navigate through the aisles. So it's just one of those like, okay, someone with the experience has come forward to share. So thanks a lot for that.
Yeah. Actually, can I just bandwagon on that? And that's also my one Shiok comment. Because I think she goes into really specific details about like, wearing the girdle is because sometimes you need to, from what I understand, is sometimes you need to be able to push the meal cart to the back of the aircraft, even when the plane is still climbing. So imagine the having to deal with the what do you call it, the increased gravitational pull, right? while you are pushing or pulling the meal cart. So you need to really not blow your back in these kind of instances. And imagine turbulence and things like that. Also, you need to be very steady when doing this. So I really appreciate that kind of specificity and detail about why certain things make sense about the SQ uniform and all that. Because I think, like the last episode was us, just two guys just sort of laughing about it and talking about it like it's a, like, I mean, I literally even said Halloween costume, right?
Which she clarified.
You can really feel that there's a larger sense of pride in what she's saying about the uniform, right? And I don't want to seem like I'm making light of everything about it, but yeah, it really it is really eye opening when we get inside information like this about the struggles or the difficulties of doing their job .
Yeah. So if you work at Vogue Singapore or on OnlyFans and have an inside opinion to share, please head on over to the subreddit thread for this podcast episode.
Yeah, no, don't need to send photos. Yeah, don't need to send photos.
No.
Tell us in text. Yeah, you send photos, you're breaking the law in Singapore already. So
yeah, correct.
Don't
we
get
also
us in trouble.
Implicated.
Yeah,
then we can do a live.
Yeah.
Then we can do a live podcast recording from jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. And what about your one Shiok thing, man?
I think the last time I spoke about watching Sandman, right? But I think the show that's really taking Netflix by storm now, if you haven't already heard of it or watched it, is Dahmer. The true crime series about Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer. Have you seen it?
Yeah. No, but I just saw an article saying it's the second most watched English show ever.
Yeah. It has.
What the hell?
It's basically behind Stranger Things season 4. That's basically that's how popular it is lah. And it's quite surprising to me also because I there are a lot of good true crime dramas out there, but I never imagined that any of them would would ascend to top of the Netflix heap lah. But this particular series is done by Ryan Murphy, the creator of Glee and many beloved TV shows. There's I won't spoil it for everyone, but it's good because it examines approaches the whole idea of the serial killer true crime drama in from slightly different angle, right? And in fact there's a lot of buzz about it also because the actual relatives of the victims have come forward and condemned the show also lah, saying that it is making them relive their trauma. They were not consulted. They were not compensated for anything in there. I mean, there are literally reenactments of their testimony and their witness statements, their impact statements in the show lah. So, it's quite controversial that way, and a lot of people are questioning the ethics of true crime shows also lah, because they are literally, you're literally mining these very traumatic events in people's lives for profit and for entertainment lah. And possibly even humanizing the serial killers themselves. So there's a big debate about it going on. I even saw Noah Yap was doing. He did some funny videos about pretending to be Jeffrey Dahmer on his account. So there's some buzz in Singapore as well about the show lah.
Yeah, and I mean, like there are literally articles saying Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix show makes fan hot for serial killer.
Yeah.
The problem with sexy serial killers.
Yeah.
People think serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer is sexy. Holy shit.
Yeah. So I mean, do check. I think it's worth checking out yourself and get a judgment. I mean, and also being cognizant of what you're feeling when you're watching it also lah. Well, who are you rooting for? What you're feeling? Who do you blame for everything that's happened? You
finished it already, is it?
Yeah. It's really one of those that are very, very compelling to
binge.
Finish. Yeah. So
I see.
Party hardy. That's
nice.
That's his line. Yeah.
Oh, that's his line.
I mean, he says it once, but it's very iconic.
It's a documentary or a...
No. It's a
show.
Yeah, narrative.
It's a narrative.
Dramatic retelling of the whole sequence of events, but not in sequential order lah. that's where it gets quite interesting. Yeah.
I see. Okay, cool. My one show thing is also a TV show. It's a old show that I started watching recently. It's Lost in Space. Also a Netflix show. Did you ever watch that?
I think I tried an episode or something, but I never got past. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised because the reason why I started watching it was on a flight in September. I watched this other show which was really good called Raised by Wolves, which is a HBO show. And I could only watch season 2. And when I came back, I was like, okay, do I want to subscribe to HBO at this point? I already have all the other shit and I have so many shows to watch. So I went to Netflix and I just looked at sci-fi shows and Lost in Space came up. I've heard about it. And basically what I've heard is like it's a family drama set in space. I watched one episode. I was okay, but by like a few episodes into the first season, I was hooked. Then the second season was good. Now I'm finishing up the third season. I will say that the third season right now, I just want to finish it because I want to finish it. The first season was the best. But I was surprised and I think I really like sci-fi, man. I got to watch more sci-fi shows, man.
Yeah,
I think next is The Expanse.
You were not into sci-fi.
Yeah. I just realized, fuck, man. I don't think maybe it's a new thing, but I think the next show I'm going to watch is The Expanse because I've heard so many people tell me that is the best sci-fi show they've ever watched.
But
have you watched?
No, I haven't. Yeah, that's something I do want to watch as well. But yeah, sci-fi is it's a commitment. It's a real commitment. Yeah.
Why?
I think I mentioned on one of my one show things before that I was reading one of the more popular sci-fi books in the last few years, the Three Body Problem.
Yeah.
And I think I've never read a more I wouldn't say it's confusing. It's a very confusing book.
Isn't it that one of our common friends said is amazing, like it'll blow your mind?
Yeah. Barack Obama said it's amazing. Yeah, Barack Obama said it's amazing, and a lot of smart people have said it's amazing and mind blowing and all that. But I read it and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? So
so the Lost in Space, it doesn't have any of that. A lot of cool like aliens and shit.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. So it's kind of like our sci-fi TV series that we did.
Yeah, human story, correct.
More of focus on human stories. Yeah. With sci-fi as the backdrop. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I think my experience with sci-fi is that the hardcore sci-fi is sometimes they care more about the idea, the science fiction idea than the actual delivery of how the idea is delivered and how they make it palatable for you to watch. So that's where when it comes to sci-fi, I'm like, oh, okay. Do I really want to enter into this relationship? Because I know it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
It potentially could be like that,
This one is an easy watch. It's an easy watch. But I can see how people are like a little, okay. It takes a while to get into it.
Checking out.
Yeah. But cool, man. All right.
Okay.
Podcast done for the week. And I guess we'll talk to you guys next week.